welcome to Kimology DIY. I'm just here on the family farm, aka my mother's house, and I'm just doing some DIYs around her home for her to help her get ready for the holidays. And of course, just because I love to DIY and craft. And if you want to learn and help each other and give advice, this is the perfect opportunity to create that community here on my channel, where we are excited about DIYing. I'm starting a DIY YouTube channel because I recently have decided to take up woodworking and a few other things where I think I could do it myself. So come along and enjoy the ride with me, and thanks for joining me. It's all about growing and learning together. I wanted to grow some vegetables, but I didn't want to have to stand out in the summertime with the heat and the mosquitoes and do a whole lot of watering. What I came up with is this self-watering, self-wicking garden bed. I already built one box so far with the trellis, so what you're about to see is me starting the second box. It didn't occur to me until after I got the first one up, and I showed my neighbors, and everybody was like, hey, this thing is really cool. We really think that you should do a video and share it. So I am currently in my father's shop, and what you just heard is the wind chimes that was given to my family by some loved ones because my father's now passed very suddenly and unexpectedly. Every time I'm here, I cry, but it's because we spent so much time in here doing things for every person in our family. My father was a giver, he was a fixer, and he always did things that I just always would think was amazing. I just loved watching and learning from him, and I feel sad that he can't be here today. Every time I hear the chimes go off, I think of him, and I stop and take a moment to remember my father, and I find myself coming out here often hearing those chimes, and every time I do, I just have a little moment. Just really try to be grateful for all the time I did get with him, but also, I still have that little part of my heart that misses him. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some music on and just start clearing up what you're seeing back here, because I'm not a carpenter. I'm kind of working through the messy part of the project.
So what I'm doing here is I'm actually sorting through my rough cut 2x6 pressure treated wood. Some of it's cut close to 48 inches, and I'm just going to do the final cut to make it 4 feet, or exactly 48 inches. And then I'm sorting through the ones that kind of have a warp. The ones with the warp, they're going to be 45 inches because I'm alternating the timber, and they're 1.5 inches thick. So each row will get 2 48-inch boards and then 2 45-inch boards. And here I am just doing some straight cuts with my square, and then I'm organizing as I go. So these are my 4x4 pressure treated posts. I'm just measuring 3 high of my 2x6s and then adding a few extra inches so that way it will screw into and support all 4 boards. I believe I cut this at 22 inches. Here I am excited to open up some brand new drill bits I got from DeWalt. I purchased freshies for this project. I wanted to be able to drill through this pressure treated wood really easily. Here I am roughing out the planter box on the floor. It's pretty level in this area that I have it at, so I'm trying to make a nice square box. I'm going to clamp these down and then check for square. Here I am checking for square. I got a brand new battery powered tool from Craftsman. This is a finish nailer. I believe a 2.5-inch nails, 16 gauge. I don't know why I thought I needed it for this project. I really didn't, but I was just practicing. I am using these nails to temporarily hold it in place while I go around and triple check that this is square, because the first row matters the most. Everything is level and square, and then I can kind of just riff off of this bottom row. Now you'll see I'm going around to pre-drill before I screw. I am using a number 10 3-inch exterior wood screw. I'm using the brand Power Pro. It's from Lowe's, not sponsored. You will see now I'm starting the second row, so I am kind of going through and looking at the different 45-inch boards that are warped and seeing which way they fit. You'll see I'll flip them over, I'll turn them around, I'll put them on the other side. I'm just trying to work out which ones fit best. These are all leftover pieces from when we did my mother's fence, as well as the screws.
The thunderstorm is rolling in, so
2. Here we are starting on the second row. I'm just going through and clamping that second row down. I am pre-drilling and then screwing all the boards. Again, it's like a puzzle. You'll see I'll go through and start seeing which boards need to be manipulated with the hammer or the clamp in order to fit into their section. Row 3, you'll see that I will start having some difficulty because I'll be measuring and cutting each side of row 3 to fit specifically in there. It was a horrible rainy morning, so it was super gloomy in the shop. I didn't have as many lights on, so I turned the lights on and I started getting organized after I took a break. I did hurt myself. I slipped and fell while walking in and out of the shop, so I did have to have someone come and help me while I was cutting the boards because my arm was hurting quite badly. Here you can see that perfect example of the pre-drill and screw. This way I'm not splitting the boards. You can see I'm manipulating this board. It is very warped, so I am doing everything from pulling it with a hammer, pushing it with my knee, and using a clamp. You'll see at this point I am measuring for the 4th and final row. These boards are stained on both sides for additional waterproof protection. I'm going to clamp opposite sides, pre-drill and screw. These are new boards. I just picked these up from the local box store, so they are pretty straight for the most part.
Up until this point, I've used recycled materials that were offcuts from the fence that we built for my mom's home.
This is the final side done on the 4x4 planter box. I'm just going to blow everything out. And then I'm going to start working on my trellis. These are 1x2 furring strips. I believe that's what they're called. I've got some Thompson's water seal stain. I'm going to go ahead and stain these because I will make a trellis with these. It's just not going to be in this episode. So this is just me staining them. I am going to stain them about 3 or 4 times rather quickly while they're wet. I want to get maximum absorption of this weatherproofing stain into these furring strips because it's not the greatest quality wood. I did my absolute best not to get any wood that had holes, knots, twists, anything like that, but unfortunately when you're shopping at the local box store, you get what you can get. You can see that they're not all straight. You can definitely tell at least 2 or 3 of these boards are warped, but it doesn't matter. They are very inexpensive and they're going to create a super easy and fast trellis, which I'll show you in another episode. Here I am in the background just touching up the planter box on the raw edges from when I made cuts or adjustments. At this point, I don't even know what number or layer of stain I'm on for these. I'm just brushing it on until it doesn't absorb anymore. And then I'm going to flip it over once it's semi-dry and do it to the other side as well.
I'm just getting into the shop, so I'm gonna pick up where you saw me last, I guess, and I'll just keep working on all the little pieces. I turn the lights on in the shop and kind of get going and put the radio on and just let the camera record as I go. As you can see, the planter behind me, the box is complete. It is a 4x4. I used 2x6 pressure treated wood, and this just helped that I didn't have to put any center supports between the 4x4. Let's get into it. something I call an aqua block. A lot of people think of aqua blocks when you have like ponds. So my aqua blocks actually sit inside of my 4x4 raised garden bed. They help separate the organic matter, compost, dirt, whatever you want to call it, from the reservoir. I'm very grateful. I have access to some items that could easily be recycled. These are 4-gallon food safe containers. All right, next step. All right, so I'm gonna make an aqua block so you can see what that looks like. Time lapse the rest because I doubt you want to watch me make 16 aqua blocks. Measure it flat, 8 to 8 inches. Safety glasses. The salt is gonna get loud. Now that we cut it down to our 8 inches, we just sand it so these don't put holes in our pool liner. And then pole saws right here, thanks to my amazing neighbor. This is the 1.5 inch, yeah, 1.5 says right on the side, also known as 38 mil. Safety goggles on, always. And then let's put some holes in this baby. Oh, so you always get these clogged, right? The best way to unclog them, flathead screwdriver. If other people have a tip, how not to clog these hole saws, please let me know. I think I have 60 grit sandpaper on here only because I have excess amount of it. And I will tell you that if you are using plastic in a pool liner and you're trying to do this all in one day, after you sand this, you absolutely have to wait for the plastic to cool down. Sander. Okay, and it is generally a pretty quick sand. All right. Flip it over, give it a little test. All right, it's done. And there you go. There's your aqua block. It's pretty perfect. Water can flow through here. Water can come in through the top, especially to fill that reservoir. So it looks good. Twist it. It is extremely dark in this general direction, so I'm assuming that the storm is coming very shortly. It is what it is. I'm gonna get stuck in the storm, but I'm fine with that. I just wanna get my stuff done. So aqua block, boom, and it sits just like this, just like that, right? And then we have the mesh, fabric lining, you'll have your compost and your organic matter, and then you'll be able to grow your plants. I have seen where you can purchase milk crates and use those as aqua blocks. That is totally up to you. If you have that kind of, money to spend on those things, go ahead. I need so many that there's no way. So it's better for me to build it. I like it. I feel better about it. It's recycled. And that's just my little peace of mind. So I'm gonna go ahead and start making more. Let's time lapse this.
Right here I'm making one 7-inch aqua block that sits on the interior wall of the garden bed. It will allow the overflow valve to be lower than the organic matter and intake valve, so that I'm not oversaturating the roots of my plants. It will also help with filling the reservoir. By keeping the overflow valve 1 inch lower, it will indicate when the water is coming out of the overflow that the reservoir is full during routine fills.
center supports, which is the extra left over from the buckets, but I need to cut down 1 inch. when you do that, oh, wrong way, goes this way. The height is correct now. Should be roughly 7 inches. Because that's the lowest point of the center of the box, which is what, if you remember, we talked about the exit valve or drain is at. And so I want to put an intake, like an intake valve or just an intake. And for that, I'm using these landscape sheet flow thing. And it has a hose. This is the hose, right? That can bend and go up. This flat part that you're looking at, that's what's gonna sit in the middle of 4 of these. I'm gonna drill holes in this, and then the water will come in through this tube and then trickle out of all the holes in here to fill the reservoir. This needs to sit level with the 8-inch aqua blocks, right? This is a 7-inch aqua block. Then the valve for the exit will come off the top of this onto this and exit out the side of the garden bed. But anyway, this thickness right here is why it needs to be 7 inches and not 8. Now I just need to cut 4 of them that are short like this. The 4 short ones go on the bottom, and then the spacers go on the top, just like that. And now I'm going to show you how I cut that. I marked it 1 inch from here because I know this is the height that I need right here. So I got a multi-tool, and I'm going to use okay, we're going to sand the bottom. All right, perfectly smooth. So we finished the 8-inch aqua blocks, they're over here. We finished the 7-inch aqua blocks. And the last thing I'm gonna do is take this long piece out right here and drill holes in it for drainage. I got my drill bits right here. Thank you, DeWalt. I'm not really loyal to any brand because I don't really know about tools. I do like DeWalt. That's the only thing. I'm learning and I don't want to be spending, you know, $500–600 on one tool. So I spent $300, like $299, and I bought an entire set. It was like 10 pieces of Craftsman. Batteries are expensive. They're like $100 a piece. Totally worth it because I have a whole bunch of the outdoor equipment too. Because I can never remember to buy gas for the gas-powered things. So I'm like, man, you know what? Just give me some battery-powered things to go and trim hedges and weed eat and do all that other stuff, and I'm golden. And like, it's great for me because that's what works for me. I'm not gonna carry a gas can around. I'm never gonna remember that. I got this on sale. It was like $9.99 at Lowe's, and it's very recent, so you might be able to find it. I'm gonna use I'll use the big bit. I'll use the biggest one. There's here, why not? Ooh, they're sharp. Let's put some holes in this sucker. Dang. Whew. That drill bit really took a hold right there, huh? Alright, plenty of holes in that baby. Thinking about investing in a really good organizational system other than the little shelving unit that I have. Maybe I'll get another shelving unit, some tubs, and make a whole video about that. If you want to see that, let me know in the comments below. So that's my intake, but this is where the water hose will go into. Put the hose in, turn it on, wait 20 minutes or however long it takes to fill that reservoir, and then go from there. Our pieces are all set. If you want to see me assemble it, come back. Hey, any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them below. I'd love to hear from you. I can't wait to plant all of my favorite vegetables in this garden and just watch them like thrive. Like, I'm so excited about this garden bed. Thought, well, you know, maybe I'll make it into a video and I'll start my DIY YouTube channel with this video. I feel very passionate about gardening. I feel very passionate about carpentry. I just think it is absolutely amazing what you can do with wood. I'm just excited. I hope you're excited. If you guys like this, you know, subscribe, follow me. I had so much fun spending time with you, and I hope you want to come back and spend some more time with me. All right, we're done for today. This is going to be part one of obviously a little bit of a series. I was super wrong thinking that I could get this done in one video. No ma'am, but that's okay. So part one of gathering and assembling pieces, let's go with that. And then I'll show you where the space is at that this garden bed is actually going into and what kind of underlayment system I'm doing underneath of this. So you gotta have some landscaping fabric under there to block out any more grass from growing, because it is growing in a grassy area that has some shade, because not all these vegetables can thrive in the Florida like sunshine. Unfortunately, the sun here beats everything down during the summertime, even with the rain. So I'll show you all that in another episode, but this is episode one. I hope you like it. I'll see you back here soon, hopefully. Bye.